line through the gift of the internet. And then we open it up to any questions that any of you have. So you'll have a chance to ask whatever questions you have. There's a microphone right here. So feel free to come up to the mic and share your name, share where you're from, and share your question. We've had over the last several nights a lot of people with lots of questions. Try to do just one first so that other people have an opportunity to ask theirs. And then if there's time, we can come to your second question also. But just to try to give an opportunity to whoever has a question. But starting as always with one of those that has come in advance. I am reading the Bhagavad Gita, and I am wondering, how do we discern between the desires, which are the kind that bind us and take us off the path, versus those things we are motivated to do in life because they are our Dharma? This is asked by Christina. So it's a great question. The Bhagavad Gita and so much of our Dharma, our scriptural, spiritual teachings, remind us over and over again. Don't get stuck in desires. Don't get stuck in desires. They just bind you. But here's the core interesting piece about desires. Think for a moment about the last thing that you wanted. It might have been just lunch. It might have been a piece of cake after lunch. It might have been a piece of pizza. It might have been something bigger, but it doesn't have to be something big. Just think about the last desire you had. Maybe it was a cup of tea with a samosa in the afternoon, whatever it was. Think about the last desire you had, which you fulfilled. Now take yourself back to the exact moment in which that desire was being fulfilled. You were eating that pizza or drinking that chai or having whatever you desired. Think about the joy that you experienced in that moment. Okay? Just really think back to it. Okay, now I'm going to tell you a secret, but it's a very important secret about life. The joy that we get when we fulfill our desires is not actually because the object of our desire has brought the joy. That's the mistake we make. And this is where desires keep. One creates another, creates another, creates another. They are endless. And we get wrapped up in their trap like a little bug stuck in a spider web. Like that's the beginning of the end for you. And here's what happens. Let's say I was desiring a cup of tea and a samosa in the afternoon. Something little, relatively harmless, unless you've got, diabetes or high cholesterol or something. Okay. Now look what happens. I'm thinking since lunch, when am I going to have my chai and samosa? When am I going to have my chai and samosa? And as it starts to get into the afternoon, my mouth starts to water like Pavlov's dogs every time I'm thinking about it. Now finally, my chai comes, my samosa comes, I start drinking the tea, I start eating the samosa, and I'm so happy. But my mind makes a very dangerous mistake. My mind says, this is so wonderful. See, I knew that chai and samosa was the bestower of happiness. on the deepest, subtlest level, the joy you are experiencing is not actually the chai and samosa. It's not that it's not pleasurable. Sure, for the first few sips and the first few bites, the taste buds on your tongue fire and the brain senses it as pleasure. But after the first few bites, the taste buds stop firing. There's no longer any neurological reward happening. But something even more powerful has happened. You are no longer desiring chai and samosa. Your desire for chai and samosa has now stopped because you are drinking chai and eating samosa. So as you are partaking of it, you're no longer desiring it. Obviously, if I was thinking, oh my God, I need pizza, oh my God, I need pizza, oh my God, I need pizza. Well, once I start eating the pizza, the oh my God, I need pizza becomes quiet. Because even my brain is smart enough to know I'm currently eating pizza. There's no reason to keep desiring pizza. It's here. And this is the deep secret. The joy that you get, that feeling of, yes, love it, is not actually from the object that you were desiring. It is because finally in that moment, you are free of the desire. And it is being free of the desire that actually gives that powerful of a sense of joy and relief. But the mind mistakes the joy, mistakes the relief, mistakes the peace, and thinks, yes, pizza made me happy. This samosa made me happy. No. It's that finally in that moment, you're no longer caught up in the throes of desire. It is the desirelessness that brings joy. Okay, now, going back to the specific question. Whether you are desiring pizza or whether you are desiring enlightenment, either way, it is an energy that catalyzes you. That's all desire is. It is an energy that catalyzes you. The question is, where does it catalyze you to? Where is that energy pushing you? My desire for pizza is going to send me into a pizzeria. My desire for enlightenment is going to send me into meditation. It's going to send me to satsang. It's going to send me to ashrams. It's going to send me to the banks of Ganga. It's going to send me to yoga class. And therefore, the desire for enlightenment or spiritual growth is something that actually is filling me with things that benefit me. And so the desire itself is not bad. No desire is bad in and of itself. The dilemma arises in the expectation that I'm going to get what I want. And in that case, whether it's pizza or whether it's enlightenment, the desire, if it is attached to expectation, it can lead to frustration and misery. Every day, not enlightened yet. Stupid spiritual practice, stupid meditation. Look, I'm still not enlightened. I've been wasting an hour doing something else, still not enlightened. Stupid guru, stupid practice, stupid, right? So a desire even for something that is very beneficial, that is my Dharma. If the desire is wrapped up with expectation that just because I desire it, I'm going to get it, frustration anyway. So whether it's pizza or enlightenment, no problem with desiring it. Obviously, it's better to have a desire for things that lead you into healthy, beneficial, transformational activities. But even there, I'm going to start doing yoga. My body's going to get healthy and strong. I'll be able to stand on my head. I will get balance. A week later, still can't stand on my head. Stupid practice, stupid teacher, wrong yoga studio. Even a desire for something good has made me stuck because I have had an expectation with it that the object of my desire is going to come right away. So have a desire, no problem. But make sure that there is not an expectation attached to the desire. So it gets fulfilled, fine, lovely. It doesn't get fulfilled, okay. Let the desire be that every minute and every moment I am awakening more and more. Every minute, every moment, I am getting closer and closer to truth. Because then the minute that you start to get frustrated, the minute that you start to get annoyed, the minute you start to get impatient, the mind itself will realize, this is taking me away from my desired destination. So you'll come back. So desire, yes, to do your Dharma, to have awakening, to have enlightenment, to live your highest truth, absolutely. But also have your day-to-day desires in such a way that they keep you on the path, not off. Desire today to lose your temper less than you lost it yesterday, fewer times than you lost it yesterday. Desire today to be more peaceful, more present, more compassionate than you were yesterday. Because then the minute that your mind comes in and says, look, again you weren't compassionate, you are an awful person. Immediately the mind will say, that's taking me away from peace. I'm going away from my goal. I'm going away from my destination. And you'll come back. So set your desires, your goals as ones that take you exactly where you want to go. But hold them gently so that if it doesn't get fulfilled according to the time limit that you've given it, right? Got to be enlightened by Saturday. You don't want that. Because then you just get frustrated. Hold the desire. Why not? You can be enlightened right here, right now. But just make sure that you hold it with a lightness of compassion and love without an expectation of it being fulfilled. And then the fulfillment of it frees you, but even the desiring of it as well frees you. Beautiful question. Other questions that anyone here has? Yes, of course. Come.
Om Namo Narayan Bhagawatiji. My name is Vivek. I'm come from Dubai. My question is, how do I stop blaming others for the share of grief I'm getting from them? My share of grief, which they are like medium. So how do I stop blaming them?
Great. Beautiful question. How do we stop blaming others for just being the medium through which I am getting the grief that I am karmically destined to get? Wonderful. Through gyan, through that wisdom, through recognizing that essentially what you're doing is killing the messenger. Somebody comes. When you get angry at them for the grief, you are killing the messenger. You are being angry at the one who, as you say, is just the medium of giving me what I am, what I need. It's like being angry at the doctor or the nurse for giving you the medicine that doesn't taste good, but ultimately is exactly what you need to get healthy. So through Gyan, that's it. Just that wisdom, that commitment to awareness. You have the awareness now sitting in satsang to ask such a beautiful question. If you can bring more presence and mindfulness, calmness of mind into your life, then what you'll find is even in those moments when they are giving you the grief, you will be able to say thank you. Thank you for being such a kind bestower of that which was my karmic due. Thank you for giving me this medicine that is so bitter and awful, but ultimately I know is what I need. And just practice that over and over when somebody's giving you pain, instead of cursing them, either out loud or in your mind. Say thank you. Say it in your mind, say it to them. And whenever people cause you pain, just say thank you. Thank you so much. It'll really confuse them. Chances are they'll stop causing you pain anyway, because nobody gets thanked for it. So that in their confusion anyway, chances are they will stop. But regardless of what they do, your mindset has shifted. And that's the key. The key to our happiness or our misery is our mindset. It's all about our mindset. How do we face the world? I'm reading a book right now, highly recommend it, called The Happiest Man on Earth. A book written by a man who died at 101, wrote the book at 100. He was a survivor of the Holocaust. He had been in 3 different concentration camps, including Auschwitz. Had been 20 meters from the gas chambers 3 times. And on 3 different occasions, for different reasons, was pulled out of the line. Managed to escape, but was in horrible, horrible shape, having been starved, and, he was something like 27, I think he said 27 kgs. Now you imagine, full-grown, 20-something-year-old guy, 27 kgs, 27 kilos. It's nothing, it's 57. It's like just over 60 pounds. For a few years, he was obviously traumatized, angry, as one can't even imagine. And yet, he then made a commitment. He made a commitment that if God saved him for a reason. And the reason was not to be angry and miserable. The reason was to be happy. And that he has seen the worst of what human nature can possibly do. And he has survived. And that therefore he made a commitment to be helpful, to be giving, to be generous, to be happy every day of his life. It's an extraordinary book. I haven't finished it yet. But you think, my God, if somebody who's been through what this man has been through, and all of his parents were killed, his family was killed right before his eyes, everything they had was taken from him, had nothing. You think if someone like that, who has been through that, which no matter how much any of us has been through, is worse than any of us could even imagine going through, and has made a commitment to be the happiest man on earth, right? Kind of puts us to shame a little bit, no? It's like, my God, what am I complaining about? So it's all about mindset. That's why I picked up the book, because that for me is what I live, what I believe, what I teach, is it's all about mindset. But you think this is really like the worst of human nature. I've also, spent time studying about, reading about, and by a woman whose young child was shot in one of the school shootings in America, kindergartner, 4 or 5-year-old kid. She ended up founding a foundation called something like Choose Love. Now you think people who have every reason to spend the rest of their lives angry, miserable, and nobody would fault them for it. Nobody would say, my God, why are you so angry? Of course you're angry. Your kid was shot. But no, they've made commitments to forgiveness, to love, to happiness. And it just, for me, reading and hearing these stories always reinforces this very deep belief I have from my own life and from what I've seen, that it's all about the mind. And that there is nothing that anyone can do to you that actually can steal your peace and your joy if you don't want it to. And if you don't let them. So you saying, thank you so much for being the one who gives me my karmic due, it's great because it shifts your mindset. From instead of being, oh my God, this is awful, how dare you, I didn't do anything, I was such a good person. It shifts your mindset into a mindset of gratitude. Of whatever you're doing to me, I'm going to be happy. Whatever you're doing to me, I'm going to be thankful for it. And all of the research shows us, science research, historical research shows us, this is the way. It's the way to be happy. It's the way to find peace. It's the way to fulfill your Dharma, your potential. So beautiful. Wonderful. Just keep bringing that gyan into every minute, every moment, so that you can be thanking them while it's happening. Not only later on when you're looking back on it. Yeah. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Other questions? Yes, of course.
My name is Anil Mathur. I'm industrialist making some engineering things with defense and all. My question is that why the God has created us? He has created us by putting our soul to the physical body, created one physical body, one soul, merged together, expected certain rules and regulations from us, follow that, spiritual awakening, everything, and keep on practicing good, cutting the fundamentals clear, good, and all of a sudden 80 years, 90 years, 60 years, you die. So why does he want that?
What's the point? Yes.
What's the point? Why this? This is, you achieve something, then you feel, yeah, you achieved something, physical world. No. Physical world is not important.
Yes.
Your spiritual world is important. You start practicing your spiritual thing. And you sharpen your skills on the spiritual thing. And then finally, after some time, you feel neither the physical things, achievements, nor the spiritual achievements, everything is gone. You are not nowhere.
So, why did God create us? To just go through this, running after its material things, its spiritual things, it's this, it's that, what to do, what's actually our point here? We have what you can think of as a twofold Dharma. We have this universal Dharma, which applies to all of us, which is the awareness, the recognition, experientially, not just in my brain because I hear somebody say it, but actually an experiential awareness of being one with the divine, one with existence, one with the supreme reality, one with Brahman. When we say aham brahmasmi, or we say tattvam asi, or we say soham, these are ways of reminding us of our true self, that we are not the bodies, that we are supreme reality. That's who we are. And yet, so that's one layer of our Dharma. That has been given to us by the divine because it is said that the divine wanted to experience two becoming one again. Wanted to have the experience of a reunion. When there's nothing but God, then there's just nothing but God. But it said that the divine wanted to have the experience of a reunion. Hence, brings us to our second level, Dharma, which is we've been given these human bodies.
It's like a tough question given by God to us to solve that.
Oh, yeah. This is the advanced course, for sure.
Advanced course. And
advanced course, yes.
Advanced course and then
absolutely advanced course.
Yeah.
But our other level is, so we've been given this human body. We've been given feelings, emotions, does all of this story, personalities, attachments to it, this sense of like, hey, this is who I am. And we have to do two things simultaneously. This is why it's the advanced course. On the one hand, we need to realize I am not this body. I am not the role I'm playing. Ultimately, I am nothing but the divine. I am that light of pure awareness.
Maybe God wants to prove him that we are the part of the God.
I wouldn't say prove. What I would say is to experience the reunion that arises out of remembrance. It's like if you get into a fight with your loved one and you stand at opposite ends of the house and you yell at each other, and then eventually you make up, and then you come back together, and that making up is so sweet because temporarily it's like you were one, then temporarily you became two. And you yelled and you hated each other and you this and you that. And then you become one again. And in that reunion from two into one, there is a sweetness that wasn't there before your fight. Which is why making up always brings us closer in a very sweet way. So on that higher level, it's said that the reason that we've been created is so that we remember that we are the divine, so that we reunite with God on a level of consciousness, awareness, to becoming one, that sweetness of remembering, oh yeah, I'm nothing without you. Oh yeah. And at the same time, here we are in these human bodies with our karmic packages, with our skills, with our abilities, with our resources, with our histories, with our opportunities, and we are absolutely meant to use them and to use them to serve this world. And this is why it's the advanced class, because we have to do both simultaneously. On this level, the higher level, everything is perfect. There's nothing but God. What do you mean, poor child? What do you mean, sick woman? What do you mean, polluted river? What do you mean, climate change? What do you mean, hunger? What do you mean, poverty? There's nothing but God. Nothing but God. There is nothing but God's perfection. And it is every single one of our Dharma to feed the poor, to uplift the fallen, to help everyone, to serve, to have compassion. And so we need to actually coexist simultaneously in both levels. We remember that it's all God and it's all perfect, and we volunteer at soup kitchens, and we donate money, and we help others, and we plant trees, and we pick up trash, and we do this, and we do that. And when you can do both simultaneously, that's when you know that you've achieved the advanced course.
Okay, thank you.
And the good news is you get to keep coming back lifetime after lifetime until you get it right. The universe is infinitely patient. Any other questions? Yes, of course, come.
Namaste, ma'am. Ma'am, my question is that is it necessary to be vegetarian to get into spirituality?
Do you have to be vegetarian to be spiritual? Well, it's basically like saying, do I have to stop cheating on my wife? Do I have to stop beating my kids? Do I have to, well, on a theoretical level, you could say no, because spirit is the truth of who you are, regardless of what you do with your body. You're still spirit. So being aware of the fact that you are spirit, in theory, should be possible regardless of what I do with my body. My body should be irrelevant to my ability to access the truth of my spirit. And yet, if I don't live according to spiritual principles, according to Dharma, what happens is my mind keeps me from being spiritual. My own mind becomes my worst enemy because I have to justify my actions. For example, let's say that I cheat on let's say I'm married and that I cheat on my husband, okay? Well, every religion, every spiritual tradition, every sense of Dharma is going to say that's wrong. But if I keep doing it, I have to give myself justification, rationalization. So I say, well, anyway, my husband's not giving me what I need, so obviously I have to look elsewhere for it. Okay. Now, what does that imply? It implies that what I need is some kind of physical, sexual, sensual enjoyment. It means that I need some kind of emotional compatibility. That is belying the spiritual truth of who I am. Because physical, sensual experience, there's nothing wrong with it. If you're not a sannyasi and you're married, enjoy, no problem with it. But if I'm telling my mind, I need it so badly that I have to cheat on my husband or my wife to get it, then it's basically saying I am not soul, I am not spirit, I am not consciousness, I am body. And this body is going to take whatever it needs. Now, if I'm living in that mindset, I cannot simultaneously live in a mindset that is telling me, hey, I'm this body, and this body's going to take what it needs, and therefore that's why I'm cheating. I cannot live as that and simultaneously have deep spiritual experiences, because I'm too anchored in my identity as the body. Simultaneously, let's say that I cheat on my taxes, or I'm stealing from my boss, or whatever it is. Well, the mindset says, they've got so much, I deserve more, I should have more, it's okay to take because, hey, anyway, I work hard, they don't pay me enough, I should. What that's telling me at the foundation is, more money will make me more happy. Who I am is based on how much I have. Which again is the exact opposite of the spiritual awareness, which is I am poor, I am full, I am whole, I am complete. Jitna bhi mera bank account mein ho. It's not about having more, as Pujya Swamiji was saying in the Arati, it's about being more. So the lie I have to tell myself about why I cheat, why I steal, that lie, that story, that mindset keeps me, my own mind, keeps me from having a spiritual experience. Eating non-vegetarian food says, any way they don't feel. Right? Because if you believe that they feel, and you have even one iota of compassion, there's no way that you could eat non-veg. So we have to tell ourselves, well, anyway, they're just animals, they don't feel, they're beneath us. Which cuts us off spiritually from the rest of creation. Spirituality says we are one. Spirituality says Vasudev Kutumbakam. And just like I wouldn't eat my mother or my father or my sister or my brother or my uncle or my aunt because we are a family, well, they are also family members. Similarly, these days, with what we know about how animal agriculture and the meat industry is causing climate change, environmental destruction, global hunger, water shortages, the mindset that my taste buds are more important than my children having access to water, my taste buds are more important than the trees of the Amazon, which are being cut down at literally an acre a second to graze cows so I can eat hamburgers. That mindset that I would have to live in, that shuts me off from all of the rest of creation, not only the animals, the trees, the rivers, all of my sisters and brothers around the world who are depending upon these water bodies, who are depending upon these trees. It cuts me off from future generations. It cuts me off from Mother Earth. And that is the exact antithesis, the exact opposite of what spirituality teaches us, which is we are one. Eating non-veg says, no, I'm not one. Not one with the animals, not one with the trees, not one with the children starving in Africa. Just me and my taste buds. That's all we are. That's it. Just us. जो मैं चाहता हूँ, जब मैं चाहता हूँ, जिस तरह से मैं चाहता हूँ, वो मुझको मिलना चाहिए. And that mindset will keep you from having a spiritual experience.
But I do have some other friends from other religions, respective religions. If I talk about Muslims, they do like 5 times a prayer. But they are really spiritual, and I have met some of the people who are really enlightened souls, but they nothing to do with veg or non-veg.
So, other religions, I don't want to get into a discussion, a comparison. What I can tell you is that there are many people I know, high-level religious leaders from the Christian faith, from the Jewish faith, from the Muslim faith, who are from religions that are very much meat-eating traditions, that are not traditions that say, be a vegetarian. But in their depth of spirituality, because whether it's the Bible, whether it's the Torah, whether it's the Quran, whether it's the Guru Granth Sahib, the teachings around compassion are there. The teachings around sharing are there. If it were only a matter of the animals, it would be a different situation. We are now in a situation today where meat eating is taking food out of the mouths of hungry people. And there is no spiritual tradition I know of that says, I deserve the food of others, There's no spiritual tradition that would say, oh yeah, you see that poor child with a piece of stale bread in his hands that he's eating because he's starving on the street? No problem, go and take that bread away from him, that's okay. Any religion would say that is a sin. To steal the bread out of the hands of a starving child is sinful. And every time we eat meat, that is exactly what we are doing. It takes 16 times as much grain, means what we call anaj. Wheat, corn, soy, rice. It takes 16 times as much grain to produce meat as it does to produce vegetarian food. So if I have 16 pounds of rice, of corn, of soy, of wheat, either I can produce 16 pounds of bread, of chapatis, of pasta, of rice, or I can produce 1 pound of meat. Because you have to feed all of that to the cows that eat it, digest it, poop it. And at the end of the day, when you finally kill that cow, the ratio is 16:1. For 16 pounds of grain that goes into that cow, you get 1 pound of beef. Which means that every time you are eating meat, you are saying, let those 15 people starve. Tens of thousands of people die of starvation every single day. Every day. You tell me what spiritual tradition says no problem. Let them starve. You deserve their food. There is no scripture, no spiritual tradition I am aware of that I have ever heard of that says, let 15 people die so you can eat whatever you want to eat, whatever pleases your taste buds. That is the exact opposite of all of our spiritual traditions of every religion. When we are deeply connected to the divine, in the presence of the divine in this creation, and when we have understood deeply the impact, the consequences, the ramifications of our actions upon the planet, I do not believe there is any way that someone could stay a meat eater. Even if they're not somebody who considers themselves spiritual. Even if they're just someone who considers themselves a moral person. You don't have to be religious to be vegetarian. I know lots of people who are vegetarians, vegans, who aren't even religious, but who care about starving children, who care about the rainforests, who care about the water, who care about the future of the planet. So it's not just a matter of like, we say the cow is holy, so you have to be vegetarian. Doesn't matter if you think the cow is holy. Life is holy. Our future is holy. Children everywhere are holy. And in the same way that our hearts break when we see children die, of any religion, our religion, other religions, doesn't matter. Our hearts break when we see them die. Anybody who can watch children die of hunger while they have the power to actually save their lives is either someone who does not know that or someone who's not nearly as spiritual as they say they are. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. We'll start with your question tomorrow. We're going to bring satsang this evening to a close. they can call आपकी question or आपकी question से हम शुरू करें. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your evenings. Beautiful morning and day to our family joining us online from all over the world. And I look so forward to seeing you all tomorrow